Okay, now we are going to add some script, some code to our objects so that when they collide, we can do things like keep points or have other things happen. So I'll show you how to make some collision scripts. So we're going to first create a script. So I'm going to go create and C# script, and we'll call this collision. And then if I double click on it, it will open up in MonoDevelop. Right, it opens up with the name correct, right, matching there, CS because it's a C#, and it opens with the default start and update. But we're not going to use those. We're going to make use a different function called on collision enter. So void, and remember these caps are very important, on collision enter 2D, and then it's parentheses, open close parentheses, remember for our functions, and then open close curly brackets to put our code in. Right? Now this method takes a parameter. Remember we put our parameters inside the parentheses. They need to have a data type and then a label, just like you declare them. So the data type for this is called a collision 2D. Not collider 2D, collision 2D, so don't choose that collider. There it is, collision 2D. And then we're going to call it other object. So what this says is when it collides a 2D collision with whatever object the script is attached to with another object, then it will do this. Alright, so we're just going to use a debug log, and we're going to have it say hit and we can do the name. So we got other object, and if we say game object and then we say name, it will print out the name of the other object and end in a semicolon. Alright, now let's go back to our Unity. Hope this pipe save that. And now let's add that to one of our objects. So let's add it to our first butterfly. And I need to go down a little bit so we can add it at the bottom. There we go. Alright, so here we see the collision script on the butterfly. So let's run it. Oops, and I didn't have our console showed. So it hit the ramp and then it hit the other butterfly. See, hit ramp, hit butterfly. Let's run it again. Here it is. See, hit ramp, and then it goes down, hits other butterfly. So that is very useful for those, but sometimes you want, so you could, imagine you could do something with that where it says it gives it points or it destroys another object or something like that. But sometimes we want something like in a car racing game, it to go over the finish line, but not actually, the finish line isn't really something that it collides with physically and bounces off. It just, when it gets over the finish line, we want it to have maybe more points or something. So that's called a trigger. All right? So that's a little bit different method. Void on trigger. Trigger 2D, and it has a little bit different. That's when you do the collider 2D. And we call that other object as well. The name can be the same. They're different types. Okay? And we'll do another debug. I'll just copy this one. And we'll say trigger. Alright, so right here, I'm going to put a comment. Also, when used on trigger, also set object to trigger in collider. Alright, so let me show you what I mean. So we're going to do this one, and we'll come in here and see where our polygon collider is. We're going to say is trigger. So that means don't use these normal collider effects. Use it just as a trigger, right? And we need to attach this script to that butterfly too. Alright, so one is set as a trigger and one is not set as a trigger. They can both use the same script. Let's clear our console and see what happens. So the other one went right through because it isn't a collider. But I don't know why it didn't say so. Hold on. So I stopped the recording for a minute and did a little bit of debugging, and I forgot to save the script, so that's why it didn't work. So here we go. I saved it and I'll run it again, and now that one is a collider. The other one is just a trigger. So as it hits the ramp, it says trigger, but it keeps going through. It's not a physical ramp. So I'm sure you can think of lots of fun ways to use those in your game. And you can work on your practice now to add some of these. So what I want you to do is go back. I will go back. And you need to write these or copy these very carefully into your notes. And remember, all of the capitals, right? All the spellings and all the capitals are very, very important. And we got collider here and collision here. All right.